But we're going to talk now about the other pillar, which is the one-to-one. The one-to-one. And I believe in the one-to-one. I always have, I always will, because I believe more than anything else, this is about beginning to build relationships. And it starts here. Yes, you can do it on the internet, you can do all sorts of things, but actually eyeballing somebody and starting the process of relationship, I believe, is fundamental. They don't buy forever, they buy you. Is that true? You know, how many people have experienced something when, you know, maybe you've gone into a shop and somebody's harassed you and you've left the store without buying what you wanted because you didn't like them. You didn't like their relationship with you. So I've always believed in setting the relationship down very quickly. To do a good one-to-one, you need to do some preparation. You do need some preparation. One of the first things is you've got to get your mind right. You see, unlike most people, I only ever sit down and do one-to-ones with potential diamonds. How about you? You know, when you're teeing up to meet somebody for a one-to-one, do you instinctively think, well, I don't suppose this one would be any good? Or do you think, I can't wait to do this one-to-one because this person could potentially be a diamond? Now, how much energy, how much focus, how much excitement are you going to give somebody who you believe could be a diamond as against, well, I don't know, this one would be any good? You see, it comes through in you, and they deserve your best, all right? The one-to-one is not to sell them forever. It's not to convince them into forever. It's in an agreeable way to meet up, begin the relationship building process, meet some of their needs with what's on offer, and educate them enough so that they want to take the next step of finding out more. Now, when I first started this process, I have to say I didn't understand it at all. You know, my first one-to-one was 2.5 hours. You know, I think the person immediately applied for immigration papers. It was a disaster. You also need to be prepared in terms of venue. Now, I like to work away from their home. I have to say, if only for the fact that I have a controlled environment. Not always possible, but I like to be somewhere where I can get their focus and attention for about 30 minutes without distraction. So I use a lot of coffee shops where I met Philippa, hotel foyers. I think it's fantastic. They spend millions of pounds on those buildings just so I can have a cup of coffee and do a one-to-one. I think it's incredibly generous. The reason why I do that is I found out long ago that things can get in the way. And once people lose their focus on what you're saying, then you've got an uphill struggle. I broke my own rule a number of years ago. I did a one-to-one in a house in Walton-on-Thames. And I didn't want to do it, but the person who was in the team, their contact was in Walton-on-Thames, and I couldn't shift this Walton-on-Thames person away from their home. So I went there. And, you know, you need to be in an environment where you can present and show. To my horror, I got into this lounge, which was about as big as this hall we're all in here. And there was a huge Italian sofa here, and there was a huge Italian sofa about, 300 meters away. So I sat down, all right? Now, I want to present the business. I want to do a one-to-one. So I'm sitting in this extraordinary Italian leather thing. And the girl was sitting over there. And she's wobbling sort of gently from side to side. And I'm thinking, how can I meaningfully present the business? I can't go and join her on the sofa because that might be too intimate a thing, And I'm thinking, what do I do? What do I do? So we're wobbling away there, and I'm trying to show her. If she's got sort of binocular vision, she can see what I'm showing her. And stupidly, I accepted her invitation for a cup of coffee. All right, so now I'm wobbling, and the cup of coffee is doing that, and then the inevitable happened. The cup of coffee spilled over into my lap. Now, I'm in a light linen suit. I've got a scalded crotch, and I'm trying to do a focused one-to-one, all right? I try not to work in the home because if they've got kids, I love kids, but not when I'm doing a one-to-one. And suddenly the door opened, and the nanny came in with the two children. The children had clearly been having some food because one of the kids had hands covered in jam. The kids saw me and went, So now I'm on the Italian sofa, and I'm doing this. I'm thinking, I love kids, but not that much, all right? And so the final thing, the reason why I rarely do them in the home, they've got a poodle. And the poodle came in the room, and it decided to mate with my leg. So now I'm... And that, my friends, is why I very rarely do one-to-ones in the home. I like to do it in a coffee shop, as I say, hotel foyer. Be prepared. You need the Forever Knowledge download of the one-to-one. You need a presenter. I've got mine in quite a nice Filofax jobby. It doesn't really matter, but something that looks neat and tidy, not scraps of paper or loose leaf. You need a decent pen, all right? I always say, you know, we're representing a multi-million turnover business. If you need to get a pen out and you pull out a Bic and it's got a neat impression of your teeth, it's not really conducive. You know, they're going to know that something's not quite right here. Also, be very tidy. You don't have to go booted and suited. You know, I'm dressed this way because of where we are on the occasion. But smart and tidy. If, as when we started, you've only got one set of clothes, you know, they can be clean. The shoes can be polished, nails clean, hair tied, you know, all of the usual stuff. I don't want anything that's a distraction from the main thing of presenting this incredible business. Always have, for me, inside here I've got my business cards, which we used to, when we started Journey, because we were broke, we used to go down to the railway station and get them, you know, in those machines where you always run out of money and time, don't you, before you finish your cards, and you have to go back in, and then you spend more money than you would have done if you'd gone down to the printers. So I always have those. Your future, because I like to give them something at the end. Okay? Now, bless you, I've got a product for that. What I'd like to do is to do a real one-to-one. All right? I don't know any other way. I can't recreate the chemistry and the feel of a one-to-one unless I'm doing a one-to-one. Does that make sense? It's not a mock one-to-one or a pretend one-to-one. It's quite difficult because I know everybody in this room. But we're going to do a one-to-one. I'm going to set the scene for you, if you like. The one-to-one is with somebody who I know, not a close friend, but I know. She and her husband. They've got a couple of kids. And let me just put this stuff so I'm ready to rock and roll. I apologize in advance for the fact that during this one-to-one I will totally ignore you. All right? My focus will be on my prospect. It has to be that way. And if there's a tip, when you are doing one-to-ones, you don't want to be intense and in their face. You don't want to make it a fraught event, but you need to give them focus. Because if you're constantly looking at your watch or looking out of the window, you know, it's not due respect to them, and it doesn't suggest that you are as you should be. When you meet people, normal greeting, you know, handshake is pretty normal in the UK, isn't it? If it's a member of the opposite sex, you know, a kiss on the cheek if you know them really well. If you don't know them very well, don't, because that's a bit over-familiar. If it's me with another guy, definitely that's out, all right? But, you know, so it's got to be appropriate for the circumstance. Again, I don't know about you, but I'm sometimes a little bit sort of put onto the back foot when somebody is over-familiar too soon. That makes sense? This is all about relationships and getting the relationships right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to invite up onto the stage my prospect. I've made a phone call. I've expressed the fact that I'm doing something I think it could be of interest. Why don't we meet up? So we're meeting up for the purpose of doing a one-to-one. And I'd like you to please give a warm round of welcome to my prospect, Claire Bowdell. Hello, Claire.
Hello.
Nice to see you
And
again.
you, John.
I'm glad you could make it. Come and sit down. Come and sit down.
Thank you.
There you go. If you sit there. How are the kids?
They're great.
Yeah?
They're great, thank you. Yeah, keeping me busy.
I bet. And how's Paul?
Keeping me busy. No, he's fine, John.
Oh, good. Good. The reason why I wanted to get together with you today, basically, is just to run by you something that I'm doing that I think could be a benefit to you, potentially. We'll see when I've shown you a little bit about what I'm doing.
Okay.
Just make sure this all ties up. Right, that's the holding page. All right, that was what was open and showing when she sat down. Okay. Now I've moved on to Forever Living Products International Inc. Let me tell you a little bit about how I got involved. Just over 17 years ago, Claire, I was sort of at a middle-age impasse. It was the previous recession. I worked very, very hard, and I've got 4 kids, and I found myself in the unfortunate position of being broke after all those years of hard work, with a lack of security in where I was living. And I thought, what is there for the future? Somebody approached us about a company called Forever Living Products. Within 3 years, we were on a 6-figure income. Within 6 years, really, we never needed to work again. So it's been a great journey for us. When I first looked at the business back in 1993, my person who was introducing me said, "Look, I want to ask you a question." And he asked me a question. I'd never been asked that question before. It rocked me back on my heels. But please, can I ask you the same question?
Okay.
If time and money were no object, if you had both of those in abundance, what would you be doing in an ideal world? What would you like your life to be like?
I find that it's quite a hard question to answer. I would do a lot of travelling.
Yeah.
I would go places with my boys that they've never seen before, just so they could have different experiences and things that I perhaps didn't do at that young age.
Okay. Where would you like to travel to with them?
I've never been to America. I'd like to go to the States.
Anywhere particularly in America?
I'd like to go to the bright lights of Las Vegas.
Yeah.
My husband would love Las Vegas.
I bet he would. I love it. I
He
absolutely
would.
love it.
I'd like if I had all the time, I would make sure I saw people more
Yeah.
that mattered to me.
Yeah.
I'd take my mum for lunch
Okay.
regularly.
You can't do that at the moment.
I juggle lots of balls at the moment. I have
Okay.
lots of the things that I do. Look after the family. Paul has a busy career. Look after the children and kind of, work 2 jobs myself.
Okay.
So maybe don't feel that I have time for things like that. I do a lot of things that would be for fun, just for fun.
Just for fun.
Just for fun, yeah. For no real reason, but because I could.
And all of those things you've said, are they really important to you?
Yes.
And how would you feel if you didn't get them?
I feel like life had perhaps passed us by, all of us, and not given us the things that we hoped we would have.
Okay, so if I'm hearing you right, you'd like to travel with your boys, you'd like to go out with your mum for lunch.
Yeah.
You just like to have some quality of life.
Yeah, because it's time that Paul is busy. We have a nice life, but it's Paul's career that brings that life.
Okay.
And he's busy doing that. So we need to have the time to all be there to make it work.
And am I reading you right, that you'd like something in your own right?
Yeah, I've probably lost my confidence a bit, really.
Okay.
Which is why I felt nervous about coming to see you today, really.
I don't bite, I promise you. I asked you those questions. I'm not prying into your personal affairs, but I just really needed to know where you were coming from, because with what's on offer, I want to make it relevant to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just see, make sure. Okay. Forever Living Products, which is what I do and who I'm with, they were a company founded over 30 years ago in America. This guy in the picture, Rex Morn, he was the person who started it then. He's still in evidence.
Right.
And it's grown and grown and grown. And we now do a worldwide turnover of over 2.6 billion, which is a heck of a lot, isn't it?
I've never heard of them.
No, nor had I. They're trading in over 140 countries, so it's a global presence, global opportunity. And it's a company, what I liked when I looked at this, it's cash rich, it's debt free. So many companies currently are going under because they're running out of money. This company is entirely internally funded. And it's got lots and lots of assets. There's property assets, income producing assets of over $1.5 billion. So it's cash rich, debt free, with lots and lots of assets. Okay. The trade body of which we are a member is called the Direct Selling Association. And Forever has won a number of awards and nominations for training support, the way it behaves, the way it treats people. And it's got a UK turnover of in excess of 36 million, which, when you look at it in terms of the marketplace, which is running about £19.5 million a day, means there's still plenty of way to go. This is the company's sales history. As you can see, 30-odd years of continuous and uninterrupted growth. Yeah. We've been through boom, bust, recession, depression, haven't we?
Absolutely.
Wars and everything else. And this company has just gone on quietly and successfully growing. To be honest, with 4 kids, I wanted something where I felt there was security long term. I could build a life on it. And it's evidenced by the figures, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Just make sure we're on the same page. There are 3 main reasons why we've enjoyed the success we have now for over 3 decades. The first thing is we've got an extraordinary product range. I'll tell you a little bit about that in a while. The rapidly growing global marketplace in health, nutrition, and things like that. And it's got a proven and exceptional business model. This is not an experiment. This is something that works. It's worked consistently, and it's worked all over the world.
Okay.
The business we're in is based around aloe vera. Have you heard of aloe vera?
I've heard of aloe vera. I've seen it in a few products.
Yeah.
Some shampoo, some care products.
Yeah.
But that's probably about as much as I know about aloe vera, really.
Well, you're one step ahead of me, because when I looked at this in 1993, I'd never even heard of it. Right. These days, as you say, you go in the supermarkets and you see it on the shelves, and it's a key ingredient in so many things. The great thing about aloe is it's not new. It's like a sort of cactus type plant. Actually, it's a member of the lily family.
Is this one?
That's one. That's an aloe vera plant, yeah. And it's been known about for about 4,000 years. And, if you look back through history, there's references to aloe vera from people like Gandhi. Cleopatra used it as a beauty preparation, etc. The great thing is it has great effects both internally and externally. It's a natural cleanser. It normalizes the bodily functions. Natural cleanser. I'll say no more than that. Maintains healthy skin. In other words, it's good for you. It's not invented by somebody in a white coat.
Okay.
People have used this where it grows naturally. Unfortunately, in Derby, it doesn't grow naturally because you get frost up there, don't you? It only grows in warm climates.
Okay.
Why Forever aloe vera? Well, quite simply because we do it bigger and better than anybody else. Our aloe is grown organically. We don't use nasty sprays and things never have in 30-odd years. We don't use herbicides, pesticides. We don't genetically modify in any way, shape, or form. And the key thing is that we extract the core of the plant, which is where the goodness is. We use an unfiltered system. We don't take anything out that nature intended to be in. We just extract that core where all the goodness is and discard the outer part and dig that back into the ground, actually, as natural fertilizer. And we use a cold processing method because we don't want to do anything. We don't want to heat it or do anything like that, which will take away.
Change it.
Yeah, exactly. It's harvested by hand, and we have extremely rigid quality standards right the way through so that we can get the benefits of the product to the end user.
Okay. Are these drinks there? You can drink it?
Yeah, funny enough, a lot of people I meet, they know about aloe vera as a topical preparation in things like sun creams, but they're not aware that you can take it internally.
Not at all.
But there are about 4 varieties of medicinal aloe, and we only use the most potent one. It is extraordinary. I've been on it for 17 years.
Right, okay.
Still don't like the taste, but it's a fantastic effect.
What does it taste like?
You have to taste it to really believe it. It's not vile, but it's not great.
Okay.
All right, and we've got all the standards you'd expect from an international company that's trading. You
Right,
know,
okay.
we have the kosher rating. We have PETA. You know, that's people
Yep. Yep.
who are concerned about animal treatment. We've got a 60-day money-back guarantee. People can quite simply try the products. If they don't get on with them, return them and get their money
Okay.
back. So
Well, that's good to
it's
know.
pretty relaxed. We're cruelty-free. We're halal. We're members of a thing called the International Aloe Science Council, which is, again, a controlling body that monitors quality. So we've got all those benchmark tests. Quite literally, we can sell our products anytime, any place, anywhere on this planet.
Okay.
Their products, okay, how can I describe the product range? We've got hair care, skin care, tooth care, body care, weight management, nutrition, look good, feel good, take care of yourself. Okay, so there's
All based on the aloe.
all based around aloe. Yes, it's the principal
Okay.
ingredient. Look, I'll just show you a few products, just to give you a flyby.
Okay.
Am I on the right page? I don't normally have to press buttons, and you know, I'm a man. I only do one thing well, all right? Not that well at times, I'm told. I'm thinking about the argue again. This is our biggest single selling product,
Okay.
aloe vera gel. That's a drink. That's as close as it's possible be to filleting a mature aloe leaf, taking out the contents and putting it into a glass.
Okay.
You typically keep it in the fridge, shake it up. You take about a third of a wine glass on an empty stomach
Right,
every
okay.
morning. What does it do? Different strokes for different folks. For me, I had a few problems with inflammatory conditions, which I found after a time cleared up. It's not a cure or anything like
Right.
that, but it just seems to help the body optimize its performance. My father-in-law's got a hiatus hernia, and he found he wasn't having to munch Gaviscon, and so on and so forth. One of my other sons takes it because he's very involved in Keep Fit, and he finds it just helps. Yeah, it's just a fantastic product. We've got things that you'd recognize, you know, things like shampoo and conditioner. They're all highly concentrated.
Okay.
They're safe. We don't
Yep.
have any nasty things in there. Interesting enough with the shampoo, you only need one shampoo for all hair types. You know, not this sort of one for fine hair, one for thick hair, one for...
Yeah, like our bathroom.
Oh, I can imagine, yeah. No, one size fits all. We've got, what else have we got? We've got a liquid soap. This is only part of our range. We've got close to 200 products now. I just
Right,
wanted you
okay.
to get a feel for the type of products. This is our liquid soap. Particularly good for cleansing the skin, obviously. You can
Yep.
even take your eye makeup off with it. It's safe, it's gentle.
Okay.
But it's particularly good when we're working with people who have, say, skin problems. You know, the eczemas, the psoriasis, things like
Oh, it
that.
helps with that
It's
too.
very important we get the skin clean from all the chemicals before we go to work on it. And it's just a very nice thing. It smells lovely. We don't use strong artificial fragrances or anything like that. Super products. What else have we got in here? Well, let me just pull some of these out and I can just talk very quickly about them. What else have we got? We have got, this is Little Aloe Lips.
Okay.
What it says on the can is what it does. It's a chapstick, it's
Yeah.
dry lips, that sort of thing. But it's very good for, I don't know, mosquito bites, small paper cuts, all that sort of thing. It's a little
Like
first
first
aid
aid.
stick
Okay.
in a stick. Yep. This is our Aloe Evershield stick deodorant. Doesn't contain any of those nasty aluminium salts. I don't know if you've seen anything in the press about that.
No, I haven't.
You should really avoid those. Not very good for long-term health. This is totally safe. It's unisex, as are
Right.
nearly all of our products. Equally suitable for male and female.
I use one of those gentle ones like Dove. Would that not have?
you?
Would that have
I
anything? in-
think you would notice the difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Once people are on that, you usually find after one stick they won't switch to anything
Right.
else. It's very gentle, very soothing, very calming. Doesn't matter how many times you apply it. So if you're wearing
Yeah.
something, you're in a hot environment. It doesn't sort of cumulatively build up and stain your dress and all that sort of
Okay.
stuff. Aloe vera jelly, that's a homogenized form of that. It's suitable for skin conditions such as psoriasis. It's good for burns, cuts, bites, lesions, abrasions.
Right, okay.
You've got a couple of boys.
Yep.
We used it at home as like a mobile first aid thing.
Yeah,
If
so
ever they
any
graze
damage?
themselves, any damage,
Okay.
anything like that. Fantastic product. This is one that's slightly different. This has got propolis from the beehive, because we're also the world's biggest beekeepers as well. And that's, if you like, an antibiotic cream. Has all the properties of an antibiotic cream without the nasty implications.
Right.
Our youngest boy had problems with eczema, and we got him off the steroidal creams and onto this. And got a great result with that. Forever Bright is like going to the hygienist every day. I mean, it's extraordinary. It looks like condensed Shrek, but it's absolutely incredible. Your breath's better.
Yeah.
Your teeth are whiter and cleaner. You don't get bleeding gums, sensitive teeth, all that sort of stuff. It's something my mum had a real bad time with until we got her onto that.
Well, my mum's always at the hygienist every 3 months and hates it.
Yeah.
So that might be something I could tell her about.
The final one here, but not in the entire range, is a moisturising lotion. This is a unisex moisturiser. These days men are using moisturisers, but they don't want them fragranced in a particular way. It's very potent. It's got lots of collagen, lots of elastin in, but the principal thing, it's got loads of aloe. And aloe is very repairing, restorative to the skin, very good for the skin. So finally people can put things on their skin that are actually doing them health benefit rather than health harm. So it gives you a feel. I mean, we always say that sort of cradle to the grave.
Can I ask you, John, this product, is this, would it help? I have a poorly husband.
Yes.
With a lot of problems with his digestive system.
Yeah.
He's under the doctors a lot and so on. And would that kind of product help?
It could do. It could do. The person who introduced us, in fact, he was a Crohn's disease sufferer.
Right, okay. I mean, the doctors have said IBS, but I don't think they know, really.
Yeah, if it's Crohn's, IBS, it's probably not curable, but certainly that product seems to give an awful lot of people an awful lot of benefit. And if it doesn't work, we give people their money back.
Okay. It's quite exciting.
It's very exciting.
Especially if it doesn't taste very nice as well. That could be very exciting.
Well, I'll own up to the fact I also took it because I used to snore. So if I didn't want to take it, Jane would force me to take it. So that's another thing. Okay.